The grotto is an amazing natural wonder along the rugged coastline of Georgian Bay. But if you want to enjoy this rugged and scenic location in person, then you've come to the right place, because you'll need to plan ahead. Located about 3 hours north from Toronto, the grotto is inside Bruce Peninsula National Park. I used to actually visit this location growing up as a kid, and you could just drive out here anytime you wanted and enjoy it at your leisure, but not today. Thanks to the internet, this place has gotten really popular, and today you need to pay and reserve your parking space in advance. If you visit during July and August, I would plan as far ahead as possible because this place books up. If you come in June, like I did, or September or October, you should have an easier time getting a parking spot. If you can manage it, I would book either first thing in the morning or later in the day to avoid the onslaught of tourists. I did this hike on a Saturday morning, and my parking time slot was from 8 a.m. until 12 p.m. and they stagger it, so I got 8 a.m. to 12. I think the next time slot would be like 9 to 1, and so on. And as you can see, depending on what time you arrive, your experience can be very different. You'll need to visit the Parks Canada website to book your time. And being a government website, it's kind of a pain in the ass. I arrived right at 8 a.m. and there was only a couple cars ahead of me in line, so getting in was pretty straightforward. There's restrooms before you head down the trail, but there's outhouses closer to the water as well. I decided to take the Georgian Bay Trail, which seemed like the most direct route to the grotto. It also avoids the rocky beach, which may be a challenge for some people. This route is a smooth gravel path right to the water, so it's the easiest route for most people. Along the way, you'll pass Horse Lake and cross a beautiful stream and small waterfall that connects Horse Lake to Cypress Lake. The trail comes out to Indian Head Cove, and please excuse the name, I'm surprised they haven't updated that yet. To get to the grotto, you'll want to head left. From above the grotto, you'll get great views of the cave and small cove, but for the best experience, you'll want to head down through the rocks and explore the inside of the grotto. This is definitely not for everybody, so I would say unless you're a strong climber and you're okay with tight spaces, this may not be for you. Some people scale across the side of the cliffs to get down, but personally, I think the repercussions if you fall are much worse than if you climb down through the rocks. The opening in the rocks is just wide enough for a person to slip through. The opening is actually pretty easy to miss, and I had some people ask me where the opening was while I was there, but because I put my camera away and I couldn't record as I was climbing down, I forgot to take my camera back out and actually film the openings, but I did get this screenshot from Google Maps, and you can see a guy going through the hole right here. And this view is from the trail as you come up over the crest of the rocks and you get your first look at the Grotto Cove. So basically, if you just kind of continue straight on the trail, you will kind of pass it on your right-hand side. Once you're down through the rocks, the grotto is an amazing thing to see. It's very unique, and it's something like you might see in the Caribbean. And there's actually an underwater tunnel that connects to the open water on the other side of the grotto. And because the sunlight bounces back through the hole, it creates this beautiful glowing turquoise water. You can actually swim through this, and I personally know people who have. But this coastline on Georgian Bay, it always reminds me of the Atlantic coast. It reminds me of hiking in Acadia National Park. The whole area has a very rugged and coastal feel. Most people stop here at the grotto and don't go too much further, but the crowds thin out if you continue along the trail to Boulder Beach. After the grotto, the trail kind of turns inland and travels through the forest, like just inside the forest, but you can actually continue along the water's edge and just scramble over the big boulders. On days when it's cool in the shade, but warm in the sun, so like especially in springtime, you'll often spot snakes sunning on the rocks. Poisonous rattlesnakes are found in this part of Ontario, so be cautious. I came across a large snake, which was about 2 to 3 feet long, but it didn't have a rattle on its tail, so I'm pretty sure it was harmless. I think it was a milk snake or northern water snake. I couldn't ID it specifically online, so if you know, let me know in the comments. From Boulder Beach, almost 100% of people head up the Mar Lake Trail and away from the water, which is a big mistake in my opinion. Because if you head up that way, you just end up on a forest trail which leads back to the parking lot. Instead, continue along Boulder Beach and the Bruce Trail. This will lead you to the end of the beach and then up a steep section of trail through the forest. The uphill section is worth it though, because the trail will continue along the top of the cliffs with amazing views along the way. After about 10 to 15 minutes, you'll reach Overhang Point. This is a great spot to chill out for a bit before heading back to Boulder Beach. Plus, you'll get just amazing views up and down the Georgian Bay coast. And that's all national park, so it's really stunningly beautiful. And it's crazy to me that I didn't see another person the entire time I was on that section of trail. It's just so surprising to me that people go such a long distance to go to a national park, but then they just go to the hot spots and then that's it. They don't venture any further, and there's so much more to see. Instead of heading back to the parking lot along the Mar Lake Trail, I headed back the same way I came. As I passed the Grotto in Indian Head Cove, the crowds had gotten way bigger. It was about 11:30 a.m. at this point, and I'm glad I got up early before sunrise to head out here for 8 a.m. It is great to see so many people enjoying the incredible natural beauty of Ontario, but I prefer to experience these places with fewer people around. Bruce Peninsula has a lot of other stunning locations too, like Flower Pot Island. So check out this video next if you're planning a trip to the Bruce Peninsula. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.